Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Mike's Florida Homestead. Beautiful morning here in Florida, and we're going to take a look at our newest addition to the homestead, and that is what's inside this rifle bag. And that, my friends, is the Ruger American. So let's take a closer look at the rifle and what we've done to the rifle to modify it for our needs. So let's unzip this bag. So I picked up this rifle bag by Allen, and I like this because it's got a lot of pockets for various things. You know, some big pockets for your ammo and clips and stuff. It's nicely raised through here where your scope is, so the scope fits in really well, and it's very nicely lined. Some thick cushion to really give the rifle some protection. And I like these better than the hard shells because they're lighter, easier to maneuver, easier to put in your vehicle. And plus the extra storage right on the outside. So that's what we went with. Okay, let's take a look at the rifle. This is the American Ruger Predator Edition, and it's chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor, and been very impressed with the gun. Very happy choice with that. So we're going to take a little closer look at the rifle and some of the modifications I've made to the rifle. And you know, I was wanting a hunting rifle that I could reach out a little bit farther. Typically have hunted with just shotguns and mostly 20 gauge, but that's great in that 30 to 100 yard range that I'm usually at with deer. Most of the deer I've killed have been within probably 50 yards or less. But for punching out a little bit farther, I thought I'd pick up a rifle. The 6.5 Creedmoor has got a nice range on it, and it doesn't have too bad of a kick on it for recoil. So I went with that. Looking at a lot of different reviews, I chose the Ruger American, and it seems to have been a good choice for me. So let's take a little bit closer look at some of the things that I've done to modify the rifle for my needs. Okay, the first thing that I did was, of course, buy some glass. So I purchased this Diamond Tactical by Vortex, a very good brand, and it has been a great scope. It's the 4x16 by 44. So I wanted something that had all the adjustments that I needed. I went with the 6-point optical scope rings on here, but this one has great eye relief. Has a good magnification, so I can pull it out to 4, find the prey, and then zoom in to 16. So it's got a nice, little bit firm, but nice that it's not going to lose position on you. Of course, your windage and elevation and your focusing distance for the scope. This thing is a first focus plane, and it does a fantastic job. I've been very happy with it. That was the first thing. The second thing that we did is we went down and bought these Caldwell bipod. So this is a 9x13 bipod from Caldwell. We picked it up at Rural King, where we got the rifle itself. And then we went ahead and picked up this linear compensator. So, and I haven't had a chance to get out and try that out. It was a little bit challenging. This is the Kaw Valley Precision Hybrid K linear compensator, 6.5 Creedmoor. But you know, it didn't come with any washers or jam nuts or crush washers or anything. And I got these spacing washers off of Amazon, and they worked okay to time it. But as you can see, they are too big. They kind of stick up past the barrel and the comp. So those are coming off. I've ordered a jam nut to use instead. So that should be here probably tomorrow. So that was the other thing. And then lastly, what we did is from Ruger is we modified this. So this comes with a flush mount kind of rotary dial magazine that holds 4 rounds. But this thing was super chintzy, and this little plastic feeder in here was like sticking to the bottom. And I called Ruger. They were going to send me another one. I said, you know, instead I've read that you could modify it to accept the AI clips. So I went ahead and ordered these from Ruger themselves, and the whole thing was like $25. So this flush well here, the magazine, oh, it's the old. So the new, it comes down and your release is down here, and this accepts 5 or 10 round magazines, the AI style. So I went with the 5 rounds. They're both the same price, but when I'm out hunting, I didn't want something sticking down too far that was going to get caught on something, or if I'm going prone, that I don't have to worry about that. So I went with that and been very happy with that. So that was a inexpensive upgrade that was probably worth more than all the rest of the upgrades apart from the glass. So been very happy. We did pick up a couple of these Buffalo Creek bags, and with the bipod on here, I actually am using the larger bag. This would normally go up front if you didn't have a bipod, and this would be back for the stock. But this works out pretty well back here. It does give you some flexibility. These do extend from 9 to 13 inches with a button push here, but it's not a left to right swivel, but there is some enough tweak to it that with the bag I was able to get on target and stay on target. Now we picked up some different ammo here locally, and the ones that we tried out at the range, the Hornady match at 120 grains, the Aguila 140 grains, a couple Winchesters, the Deer Season XP, and the PowerPoint. And shooting these, we found that the Aguilas, I got them on sale for like $23 a box, and they, yeah, not happy with them. Although they're heavy, so I expected some drop on that, but at 100 yards, it shouldn't be anything significant. And they were the least accurate, of course. Then comes in the match, and then these two actually like the best from Winchester. And at first glance, they look like they're very similar. This one is 125 grains. This one's 129 grains. But at closer look, they are quite different. Now, if you look at just the tips, you can see the shape difference between the two. The PowerPoint has just a kind of a blunt tip, which is probably why it dropped more than the other one. But the design of the whole thing, you can see, is quite different. The Hornady match has that little polymer style tip on it, and then the Aguila is just a solid piece of brass. And they were the least accurate of all. Now, between the two here, like I said, they're very similar in grain, but construction is quite different on the two. And if we look at the ballistics and compare them on these two, you can see why one's so much superior. So at out of the muzzle, you're at 2850 here and 2820 with this one. So they're pretty close right out of the muzzle, but that's where it ends. If you look out at 400 yards and you look at our velocity here, we're at 2214 still. And at this one, we're at 1803. So this one has dropped over 1,000 feet per second in velocity, and also in energy. The transfer energy here is 1360 at 400 yards, where on the PowerPoint it's dropped it way down to 931. And you can see the drop. They both zero out at 200 yards, and then at 300 yards, you got a 7 versus almost 9-inch drop, and then a 20 versus 25-inch drop at 400 yards. So, and then at 500 yards, you're like at a 50-some inch drop versus a 41. So the deer season XP will be my favorite, and that's what we'll be using when we go hunting. I know that Hornady makes a precision hunter, and I haven't tried that yet, but it's like $50 a box, and I'm pretty happy with this one. So we will probably go with that. I did pick up a couple extra boxes of the XP, and these you can get at Walmart. These I got on sale at Sportsman's. They had a ton of it trying to get rid of, and the Hornady Match was the most expensive. I think that was like $36 or $37 a box at Rural King, and that's all they had there. So that's some of the different ammo. And in a second here, we'll take a look at some of the results we had down at the range. Okay, when we first started zeroing in, I was using the Aguila, the cheaper ones, and getting out here. And then as I got the scope sighted in better, we started getting tighter groupings. These were with the Winchester XPs. And then after we felt it was fairly sighted in, I got a less than 1-inch grouping with the Winchester Season XPs, and then down here about 1.25 inch grouping with the Winchester PowerPoints. Pretty good groupings. Fairly happy with that. So we've got to get back out and try out at 200 yards and beyond, and see how the rifle is going to do at those distances with some of this ammo. Yeah, we've been pretty happy with the Ruger American, and seems to like this one the best. So that's probably the one we'll stick with when we go hunting. I will maybe try the Hornady Precision Hunter, but that's like $50 a box, so we'll see. Okay, join us again here at the homestead, and thanks for stopping in. Bye.